All right, let's talk about one of the biggest buzzwords out there, immunity. But, we're going to look at this from a totally different angle today. We need to forget about boosting anything. Instead, we're going to talk about building it, literally, piece by piece, from the ground up, using the food you eat. So let's just dive right into that. We hear it all the time, right? Boost your immunity. Sounds so good, like you're hitting some kind of turbo button on your health. But what if that whole idea is just wrong? What if it's just a temporary fix for a much, much deeper issue? What if the real power isn't in some short-term jolt, but in a long-term, deliberate build? Think about it like this. Boosting is totally reactive. You feel a tickle in your throat, and you scramble to shock your system into action. But building? That's proactive. It's like you're the architect of this amazing fortress. It's a foundational, internal project that you work on every single day, making your body resilient from the inside out. Okay, so if we're building a fortress, the first thing we need is a security team, right? So let's start with the foundation and the first responders on the scene, your innate cellular army. This is the part of your immune system you were born with, and believe me, it is on duty 24/7. Now, the absolute key players in this army are called phagocytes. The name literally means cells that eat, and that is precisely what they do. Just picture them as the security guards and the cleanup crew for your entire body, constantly patrolling for anything that looks out of place. And this security team has some really specialized units. First up, you've got the granulocytes. These guys are the rapid response team, always circulating in your blood, ready to go. Then you have the macrophages. Think of them as the permanent bouncers stationed at all the critical entry points, like your lungs and your gut. And you even have an internal affairs division, the natural killer cells. They're the specialists who deal with threats from within, your own cells that have gone rogue. And get this, look at how physical this whole process is. A phagocyte doesn't just, zap a threat from a distance. No, it actively hunts it down. First, it literally extends these cellular arms to capture the bad guy. Then it pulls it inside and encloses it, trapping it in this little bubble. And finally, it unleashes its chemical toolbox, a cocktail of digestive enzymes to completely destroy it. It is a full-on cellular takedown. And here's the kicker. The quality of that chemical toolbox, the strength of those arms, it all depends entirely on your building materials, on your food. Coherent, whole foods build strong cells and powerful, effective enzymes. And what's the result? The threat gets destroyed. But ultra-processed foods? Well, they build weak, flimsy cells with ineffective enzymes. And the result there? The threat just might survive. And this brings us to such a powerful idea. Just let that sink in for a second. We're so often focused on the strength of the germ, the superbug. But what if the real problem isn't some invincible invader, but an underbuilt, underfunded defense system? What if the weakness is actually on our side? But a good fortress has more than just frontline guards, right? It's also got a team of highly trained specialists and a really sophisticated archive system. This is your adaptive immune memory, the part of your system that learns, adapts, and most importantly, remembers.
So, a really common misunderstanding is that antibodies are the soldiers that kill invaders. They're not. It's much cooler than that. Think of them as intelligence officers. They're basically proteins that act like little flags, and their job is to tag a specific threat, essentially painting a giant target on it so your phagocytes, our cells that eat, can easily find it and destroy it. They're all about communication.
And this whole system is just brilliant. It's got a whole crew of specialized workers. You've got B cells, which are the factories pumping out all those antibody flags. Then you have the T cells, who are kind of like the project managers, coordinating the whole response and even taking out infected cells themselves. And finally, the dendritic cells. They're the messengers, gathering intel from the field and reporting back to the T cells to get the right plan into action. What a team.
So where in the world do all these incredible, specialized cells come from? Well, it all starts in one place, your red bone marrow. This is the factory. This is where stem cells are constantly being turned into every single type of immune cell we've just talked about. And the thing is, this factory's production line is incredibly sensitive to the quality of the raw materials it gets, which means your nutrient intake and your body's inflammation levels. And this right here perfectly illustrates why those raw materials matter so much. An antibody works like a lock and a key. It has to be the perfect shape for its target to actually work. So when it's built with the coherent proteins from whole foods, you get a precise lock that fits perfectly.
That sends a strong, clear signal, but when it's built from the damaged, incoherent materials in processed foods, you get a sloppy, imprecise lock that struggles to bind. The signal is weak, and your defense is degraded. It's that direct.
So, what's the big takeaway here? What does all of this mean? It means you're not just a passive victim in all this. Not at all. You are the architect of your own defense system. Your immunity is a physical record, a nutritional memory of every single building block you've given it over time. This is really the core insight of food coherence. Immunity isn't some switch you just flip on. It's a physical structure that you assemble and maintain every single day. The very shape of your immune cells, their ability to communicate clearly without all that metabolic noise, and the endurance of your immune memory, it all comes down to one thing: the quality of your building materials. So, I guess I'll just leave you with this one final thought. Your immune system has an incredibly long memory. It remembers the materials you gave it to build with yesterday, and last week, and last year. So the real question is, what are you teaching it to build with today? Thanks for tuning in.